that was something I was going to stick with. I was probably in high school at the time, and it adds just a little extra something to everything. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Any more? I think, yes, you in the blue shirt. Yes, you, sir.
Two questions. One, what was it like working on The Simpsons, and when do you plan on working with Terry Zwigoff next?
The Simpsons, I didn't really work on The Simpsons. I was a character on The Simpsons. They go to a comic store, and Art and Alan Moore and I were in the comic store. And really, it just involved me reading those lines like 5,000 times. And the final show, they edited literally syllables together to make me sound like I knew what I was doing. And their direction was, on a cartoon, you should just shout, just make it, just be really emphatic. And I'm like, but I'm not, I'm monotone. No, it'll sound like a monotone, just, and they were right. But that's probably the only thing I've ever done in my life that people are impressed by. That's really, you were on The Simpsons? And as far as Mr. Zwigoff, I'd love to do something with him again, but no plans right now.
Okay. No, you earlier. Yes, over here, miss. Second row. Yes, you. The one looking behind you. The one looking for the mic.
Hello.
Hi.
Just as someone who's worked in film with a boyfriend who works in publishing, I've become very aware of not only the risk involved in offering up on any kind of novel into film, but also like the sacrifice. And I wanted to know if you felt that particularly with Ghost World, if that was kept true. Yeah, I know you screenwrote on it, but the directing, all of that's out of your power. Was it kept true to your novel?
I felt like it. I didn't really feel like it infringed on the novel. I felt like it was. I felt like they were compatible. I felt like somebody who liked the movie could also like the comic, and vice versa. But it didn't feel like it was necessarily my thing, even though I was very involved with it. It's very much a collaborative thing, and there are parts to it that I never felt connected to, and other parts I felt deeply connected to that I knew nobody else did. And so you have to just sort of go into it. It's an outside adaptation, and it doesn't take anything away from what you're doing with the actual comic.
Okay. Yes, hair. Yes, hair. Young lady.
Guy with hair.
Woman with hair. Yes.
What about turning Velvet Glove into an animated film? Could that ever happen?
If some psychopath would give me money to do it, it could happen. Yeah, right. Okay. That's. It's the kind of thing. I think in like 2040, that'll be like a mainstream film. It's like when snuff films are popular. That it'll be like then somebody will make that. When I'm 90.
Okay. Yes, back there. Also with hair and glasses in this case.
I had a friend in college, and I gave her a copy of 8-Ball because I thought, she would relate to it because I related a lot to it. And that was the beginning of the end of our friendship.
Oops.
She felt like I was a bad person because the book was really hypercritical of people and really just kind of made fun of them a lot. I assume she also thought you were a bad person.
Thanks for sharing that.
I don't think so, of course. But do you ever get people thinking that you're a bad person for kind of being hypercritical of
not till right now.
All right, maybe she was hypersensitive.
I think so. I think you're better off without her, actually.
Okay. Anything over here?
Yes, these guys.
So
sorry.
Here, yeah. You never get.
Had my back to all. Here, you could come up here if you want.
You know what? I'll repeat the question. Just tell us what the question is.
You talked a little bit about today about the Bollywood aesthetic and superheroes and alternative comics sort of laboring under that. I guess that the source of alternative comics is sort of like this kid fare or adolescent fare. And do you have any thoughts about how maybe comics can keep going more into a not legitimate but adult readership?
The question is how can comics retain and sustain their adult readership?
I don't know. I have no idea. I have no answer.
Okay.
It's for
Anything
some
else out here?
marketing guy.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll call this the last question. You way in the back with the kind of bluish Superman kind of shirt.
Superman.
Oh, not Superman. Well, I only
Just
saw the
crushed this guy's dreams.
only saw the top of it.
This work? Oh, Jesus. You said earlier that there wasn't much company back in the day when you first started with Lloyd and whatnot.
Right.
Obviously, I think there's a lot more company now in terms of adult comics.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Is what's happening now is of interest to you, if anything?
Well, there's a book that I'm sort of taking it upon myself to promote that I don't believe has come out yet from Fantagraphics by this guy named Tim Hensley, and it's called Wally Gropius, the Umpteen Millionaire. And I think it's like the greatest book of the decade. It's truly fantastic in every way, and you can read it 50 times and still get much more out of it each time. And so when that comes out, everybody must buy this book.
Okay. Is there one last question? Yeah. Oh, there's one person waving madly in the back. Yes. Can you get a mic back there to the mad waver?
The mad waver. No.
Yeah, we could. No.
I can't hear.
I was a big fan of your writing style.
Thank you.
What kind of exercises do you do in writing them? Do you just like go someplace and people watch and write down your reaction to the people? I mean, it just seems really just kind of stream of consciousness.
I have a lot of imaginary conversations. I was just thinking today. I was sitting in the park, and there were all these people. There was like a girl sitting kind of next to me reading a Russian novel, and then these guys sat down next to her and were yammering into their cell phones really loud. And I thought, like, why didn't you see she's reading? Like, go somewhere else. And I was having this whole Wilson-like conversation with these guys. Where like, what is wrong with you, you idiots? And then I thought, like, oh, that would have made a good comic strip. So that's the kind of thing that's where they come from. Some of them.
Well, that's a sensational way to wrap up.
Yeah.
We're going to Dan will be in the back signing books.
No, I'm here.
You're going to be right here signing books.
You must come up to the throne.
We'll just say thanks everybody for coming, and thank you for doing this.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone, for coming tonight. Be sure to purchase your copies of Wilson downstairs after your Dan signed them. And check the Strand website for more events. Thanks.
I want to figure out what the